Walmart. You could start a new business. We can unleash the entrepreneurial spirit of the American people. They can start businesses and not worry whether their families have health insurance or not. You know, nobody has a magical answer to human happiness. But I will tell you that if everybody in this country knows that they have health care when they need it and not worry about it, that will take an enormous burden off the backs of tens of millions of Americans. Now, Secretary Clinton says that my idea is too big. That in essence, we don't have the power to take on the private insurance companies or the drug companies.
Oh, yeah, we do.
I respectfully disagree. I believe that when the American people stand up and tell the drug companies and tell the insurance companies that they cannot make billions of dollars in profit off of the sickness of the American people, we're going to win this fight. Now, I know that there are many people in California and America who are worried that Donald Trump may become president of the United States. It's not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. And I'll tell you why it's not gonna happen. Number one, in the last 2 months, virtually every national poll out there, including 2 today, has us way, way ahead of Donald Trump. And in battleground states all over this country, we are running far ahead of Secretary Clinton against Donald Trump. So I say to the Democrats who will be convening in Philadelphia for the convention in July, if you want the strongest candidate to defeat Donald Trump, that's us. But it is not just polls. Polls go up and down. There's something more important. And we're seeing it right here today, right now, in Stockton, California. And that is progressives and Democrats win elections when people are energized, when they're prepared to stand up, fight back, and vote, and we have large voter turnouts. There is no question about which campaign is energizing the American people. It's us. In California and all over this country, millions of working people and young people understand that it is just too late for establishment politics or establishment economics. That we are ready not just to elect a new president, but together to transform our nation. So I say to the Democrats at the Democratic Convention, all of the delegates, if you want to defeat Donald Trump, if you want to see a major voter turnout, a large voter turnout, where millions of people are standing up and fighting back, our campaign is that campaign. member of the U.S. Senate Committee on the Environment. And I've talked to scientists all over our country and all over the world. And what they have told me very clearly is that climate change is real. It is caused by human activity. And I don't have to tell the people in California, it is already causing devastating problems in our country and around the world. We have a moral responsibility to leave this planet in a way that is healthy and habitable for our children and future generations. And whether the fossil fuel industry likes it or not, we are going to transform our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. And one of the differences between Secretary Clinton and myself is that I believe that now is the time to impose a tax on carbon. One other issue, it is looming, it will get more and more severe, and that is whether or not in our country and around the world we will have clean drinking water. And another difference between Secretary Clinton and myself is that I believe now is the time to end fracking. That is not Secretary Clinton's view. And in fact, when she was Secretary of State, she pushed that technology onto countries around the world. Now, everybody here knows a profound lesson of American history, the most important lesson that we can learn, and that is that real change never takes place from the top on down. It always takes place from the bottom on up. And that is the history of America. When millions of people stand up and fight back and demand change, the people will not be defeated. Think about 100 years ago. Workers working 7 days a week, 14 hours a day. Children working in factories, working in the fields, and workers said, sorry, we are not beasts of burden. We are entitled to dignity and respect. We're going to form trade unions. Think about 150 years ago when the African American community and their allies said that in America, the day will come when we will end racism and bigotry. And millions of people stood up. Some died, some went to jail, some were beaten. But they said, we are going to change America away from racism. Brothers and sisters, think about less than 100 years ago, women in America did not have the right to vote, did not have the right to get the education or jobs they wanted. But women stood up. And women in America told the establishment, don't define us. Don't tell us that our only function in life is to stay home and have babies. We want more. And millions of women stood up, and with their male allies, they changed the system. If we were here 10 years ago, no time at all from an historical perspective, and somebody jumps up and says, you know, Bernie, I think that gay marriage will be made legal in every state in this country by the year 2015, the person next to her would have said, you are nuts, ain't gonna happen. But what happened is the gay community and their straight allies stood up and fought back. They stood up and they fought back and they said that in America, people should have the right to love whoever they want, regardless of their gender. If we were here 5 years ago and somebody said, Bernie, this federal minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, totally inadequate, we got to make it $15 an hour, the person next to them would have said, $15 an hour, you want to double the minimum wage? You are crazy. Can't happen. You're thinking too big. But you know what happened? People in the fast food industry, in McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, went out on strike. They stood up and they fought back and they said, we cannot live on $15 an hour. And then what happened? Seattle, LA, San Francisco, $15 an hour. California, New York, $15 an hour. That is how change takes place. Now, what the establishment and what the media want you to believe, that real change is impossible. No. We cannot do what every other major country on earth does and guarantee health care to all people. We can't do that. Oh, no, 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 no. We cannot have paid family and medical leave for our people. We can't do that. It's too hard. No, no, no. In this great country, we cannot rebuild our crumbling infrastructure, create millions of jobs. Oh, no, no, it's too hard. The powers that be are too powerful. We cannot take on the billionaire class and end the grotesque level of income and wealth inequality that exists. We can't do it. No, no. Oh, no, you're dreaming. You're dreaming if you think we can make public colleges and universities tuition free. Can't happen. Too radical an idea. Oh, no, no, no. The fossil fuel industry, too powerful. We can't transform our energy system and lead the world in combating climate change. Too powerful. Oh, no, no, no. Chamber of Commerce, too powerful. We can't provide equal wages for equal work for our women. No, no. Can't be done. And what the establishment tells you is think small. But we have a different view. And all over this country, people are looking at the world very differently. And they are saying, yeah, you know what? In America, we actually can have an economy that works for all of us, not the 1%. Yeah, actually in America, we can have a vibrant democracy, one person, one vote, not a nation in which billionaires are buying elections. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can create a nation and a government that works for all of us, not just the people on top. And that, brothers and sisters, is what this campaign is all about. Now this campaign This campaign is taking on the financial establishment. We're taking on corporate America. We're taking on the Democratic political establishment. We're taking on the corporate media because the corporate media is not particularly interested in the issues facing working families. And yet, we're taking on the most powerful political organization in America, the Clinton organization that elected a president twice. And yet, despite all of that, we have now won 18 state primaries and caucuses. We believe that we have a very good chance, can't predict the future, but we think we have a very good chance to win a majority of the states yet to vote, including right now, we are at about 45.5% of the pledged delegates, the delegates actually elected by the people in the states. We think that if we do well in the remaining states, and if we do very, very well in the largest state in this country, California, we have a chance, it's an uphill struggle, we have a chance to end up with a majority of the pledged delegates. And if we do that, I think you are looking at the Democratic nominee for president. On June 7th, there is going to be a primary here, which will be the most important primary in this whole nominating process. More delegates will be at stake by far than in any other state. We have found throughout this campaign that we do well when the voter turnout is high. Let us make certain that on June 7th, California has the biggest voter turnout in the history of the state for a Democratic primary. Let us make certain that this great state, one of the leading progressive states in America, makes it clear to the world that they want a political revolution. Thank you all very much.